Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be studying the Bible. I've been wanting to do this for quite some time now, but things have come up and it's been a stressful month, not gonna lie. But now that things are kind of starting to settle down, I can focus more on the content that I want to produce. And this is definitely one of them. I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian since I was 15 years old, and I would love to share my faith with you guys. And I'm not super, let me make this clear, I'm not super religious and one of those, not one of those, but I do have a very close relationship with God. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and read from Genesis. I started off a new chronological Bible plan starting on December 31st. So I'm a couple days behind, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being a couple days behind, but I do like to catch up because this is really important to me. Being with God, knowing God, praying to God, understanding God. This is the best way, through his word. So I'm going to read chapter 18 of Genesis out loud to you guys just to make it more interactive. And then after that, I'm going to read it silently, and you can read along with me if you'd like. I'm going to read all the way up to chapter 25 according to my plan. Okay. So at this point, I am in Genesis at the point where Abraham took his wife, took Lot into the wilderness, and now they are chilling out there. This is right after the time when Sarah got really impatient and ended up giving her servant to Abraham to have a child through her. That doesn't make any sense to me. Might as well just not have done that at all, because it ended up being a huge problem. I don't really know what she was thinking through her head. Like, yep, my servant to my husband and everything's going to go gung ho. Well, that's not the case. The servant ended up treating her with contempt, and she did not like that and ended up sending her away, even though she was pregnant. And yeah, the angel spoke to her, thank goodness, and convinced her to come back. So yes, this is where we are. So, starting from chapter 18. A son is promised to Sarah. The Lord appeared to Abraham near the oak grove belonging to Mamre. One day Abraham was sitting at the entrance to his tent during the hottest part of the day. He looked up and noticed 3 men standing nearby. When he saw them, he ran to meet them and welcomed them, bowing low to the ground. "My lord," he said, "if it pleases you, stop here for a while. Rest in the shade of this tree, while water is brought to wash your feet. And since you've honored your servant with this visit, let me prepare some food to refresh you before you continue on your journey." "All right," they said, "do as you have said." So Abraham ran back to the tent and said to Sarah, "Hurry! Get 3 large measures of your best flour, knead it into dough, and bake some bread." Then Abraham ran out to the herd and chose a tender calf and gave it to his servant, who quickly prepared it. When the food was ready, Abraham took some yogurt and milk and the roasted meat, and he served it to the men. As they ate, Abraham waited on them in the shade of the trees. "Where is Sarah, your wife?" the visitors asked. "She's inside the tent," Abraham replied. Then one of them said, "I will return to you about this time next year, and your wife, Sarah, will have a son." Sarah was listening to this conversation from the tent. Abraham and Sarah were both very old at this time, and Sarah was long past the age of having children. So she laughed silently to herself and said, "How could a worn-out woman like me enjoy such pleasure, especially when my master, my husband, is also so old?" Then the Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh? Why did she say, 'Can an old woman like me have a baby?' Is anything too hard for the Lord? I will return about this time next year, and Sarah will have a son." Sarah was afraid, so she denied it, saying, "I didn't laugh." But the Lord said, "No, you did laugh." Abraham intercedes for Sodom. Then the men got up from their meal and looked out towards Sodom. As they left, Abraham went with them to send them on their way. "Should I hide my plan from Abraham?" the Lord asked. "For Abraham will certainly become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed through him. I have singled him out so that he will direct his sons and their families to keep the way of the Lord by doing what is right and just. Then I will do for Abraham all that I have promised." So the Lord told Abraham, "I have heard a great outcry for Sodom and Gomorrah because their sin is so flagrant. I am going down to see if their actions are as wicked as I have heard. If not, I want to know." The other men turned and headed toward Sodom, but the Lord remained with Abraham. Abraham approached him and said, "Will you sweep away both the righteous and the wicked? Suppose you find 50 righteous people living there in the city. Will you still sweep it away or not spare it for their lives? Surely you wouldn't do such a thing, destroying the righteous along with the wicked. Why, you would be treating the righteous and the wicked exactly the same. Surely you wouldn't do that. Should not the judge of all the earth do what is right?" And the Lord replied, "If I find 50 righteous people in Sodom, I will spare the entire city for their sake." Then Abraham spoke again. "Since I have become, let me speak further to my Lord, even though I am but dust and ashes. Suppose there were only 45 righteous people rather than 50. Will you destroy the whole city for lack of 5? Then the Lord said, "I will not destroy it if I find 45 righteous people there." Then Abraham pressed his request further. "Suppose there are only 40. Then the Lord replied, "I will not destroy it for the sake of 40. Please don't be angry, my Lord," Abraham pleaded. "Let me speak. Suppose only 30 righteous people are found." And the Lord replied, "I will not destroy it if I find 30. Then Abraham said, "Since I have dared to speak to the Lord, let me continue. Suppose there are only 20. And the Lord replied, "Then I will not destroy it for the sake of 20. Finally, Abraham said, "Lord, please don't be angry with me if I speak one more time. Suppose only 10 are found there." And the Lord replied, "Then I will not destroy it for the sake of 10. When the Lord had finished his conversation with Abraham, he went on his way, and Abraham returned to his tent. I think that Abraham knew that Sodom was really bad, and that's why he kept lowering the number. That's just funny. But that's awesome that this goes to show you that the Lord actually does listen to his people. When we plead to him, he does listen. And the part where Sarah laughs and then she got scared and denied it, it was so funny. That part is so funny to me because we really do that sometimes. Like, Lord tells us to do something, we're like, that's not gonna work. We just doubt it right away instead of letting him do his thing through us. You don't know that. Only God knows what's gonna happen. Who are we to doubt him? But yeah, that is my take on that chapter. And I'm going to go ahead and continue reading probably for another 10 minutes. Feel free to read on with me if you'd like. This is also a Bible journal, so I have my coloring pencils here. I've got my little Japanese sharpener, and there's usually illustrations on the side that I can color. Happy reading. that was a very good session. Turned out that the city actually got destroyed. I don't think God found more than 10 people. It was literally just Lot's family, 4 people. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below if you'd like to see more of this. Have a great day. Have a great week.